Borneo, an island older than memory, where rainforests rise like green cathedrals beneath clouds heavy with life, and rivers coil through the jungle like veins of liquid shadow. Here, time moves differently. Moss creeps over ancient trunks. Orchids bloom in the half-light. And every rustle might be wings, feathers flashing, voices calling, unseen yet everywhere. From the mist-wrapped peaks of Mount Kinabalu to the swampy lowlands of the Kinabatangan and the dim emerald corridors of Danum Valley, Borneo breathes in birdsong, a language written in color and echo. In this episode from BBTV Official, we journey deep into Borneo's untamed heart to witness the birds that define its mystery and mirror its soul. Green silence breaks as a streak of red cuts the river's edge. The black and red broadbill, Cymberhincus macro hincos, takes its name from the Greek kymbos, meaning boat, and rhinchos for bill, describing its oversized beak shaped like a canoe. The Latin species name means large-billed, a perfect echo of form and function. Found between sea level and 2,600 feet, 800 meters, across Borneo's lowland rivers, oxbow lakes, and peat swamps, this bird inhabits riverine forests rich in bamboo and fig. It prefers overhanging branches near still water, often nesting just above the surface to guard its young from predators. Populations also occur in Sumatra and the Malay Peninsula, but it remains most abundant in Borneo's interior waterways. Reaching about 9 inches, 23 centimeters long, and weighing around 2.8 ounces, 80 grams, it resembles a living contrast, jet black above, deep crimson below, divided by a brilliant blue and yellow bill. The male's plumage gleams like a riverine samurai, wielding a crimson scimitar across his chest. Its glossy feathers reflect the water's shimmer in rhythmic motion, a perfect mirror of the tropical current. The defining characteristic is its voice, a metallic two-tone clink-clong that rings out along flooded corridors. The call rises and falls like an oxbow aria, part song, part warning. When alarmed, pairs launch into short synchronized flights over the river, their wings striking in unison to create a splash crescendo. This duet flight serves as both defense display and reaffirmation of their bond. Feeding consists mainly of small fish, aquatic insects, and snails. Foraging technique involves aerial sallies over water. It swoops down, snatches prey, and returns to the same perch. Occasionally, it plucks insects directly from the river's surface. Breeding occurs from February to June. Pairs construct large, oval nests of leaves and twigs, hanging 3 to 6 feet above water from overhanging branches. 2 to 3 eggs are laid and incubated for about 20 days. Chicks fledge within a month. Both parents guard the nest fiercely against monitor lizards and snakes. The red blade dips once more, slicing the mirrored current before retreating into shade. The red blade slices the water's surface one last time. Ripples carry the song downstream. From the roar of a mountain stream, the camera dives closer. Foam, stone, spray, and there, a black and white flash in motion. The Bornean forktail, Onychurus borneensis. The genus name means curved tail, and few birds display that curve with such precision. This species, endemic to Borneo, turns rushing water into its stage. Found between 2,000 and 6,000 feet, 600 to 800 meters, in the forested uplands of Sabah and Sarawak, it inhabits shaded mountain rivers where boulders glisten with moss. Preferring clear, fast-moving torrents, it chooses habitats too turbulent for most other birds, thriving on the strength of perpetual water flow. At 8 inches, 20 centimeters long, weighing about 1.4 ounces, 40 grams, it is roughly the size of a sparrow, but sharper in contrast. The head, throat, and tail shimmer like obsidian ribbons, while the wings and back flicker with white bands that flash like liquid mercury when it hops among rocks. Its deeply forked tail acts as a balance pole, adjusting with each landing and leap. The most striking feature is its motion, part dancer, part acrobat. This torrent dancer bobs and flicks its tail to signal territory, timing each gesture to the rhythm of the rapids. When startled, it darts low over the current, a streak framed by a spray halo of droplets. Ornithologists believe the tail movement doubles as communication and camouflage, breaking its outline in dappled waterlight. Feeding consists mainly of aquatic insects, larvae, and small crustaceans. It forages by wading or short fluttering flights, prying prey from submerged leaves and rocks. Its quick strikes mimic a heron in miniature, perfectly adapted to the slippery chaos of mountain streams. Breeding occurs from February to June. Pairs build moss-lined nests inside rock crevices or behind waterfalls, about 3 to 5 feet above the water. 2 or 3 eggs are laid and incubated for 17 days. Fledging follows within 20. The current races on, spray rising like breath over stone. The river keeps its secret in motion. The black ribbon snaps back into the rapids. Water writes its name and erases it in the same breath. A shimmer of leaves, a flutter of wings, a faint burst of chatter. Then a flash of pale eyes peers through the fruiting canopy. The cream-eyed bulbul, Pycnonotus pseudo-simplex, takes its name from its ghostly iris, a defining mark that distinguishes it from its close relatives. The genus Pycnonotus means dense-backed, referring to its compact body built for life among branches. Restricted to the lowland rainforests of Borneo, this bulbul inhabits riverine edges, mangrove borders, and secondary forest canopies up to 3,000 feet, 900 meters. Though it once mingled with the cream-vented bulbul, genetic studies proved it to be a distinct species, another reminder of Borneo's unmatched evolutionary laboratory. Roughly the size of a robin, it reaches 7.5 inches, 19 centimeters, and weighs about 1.3 ounces, 38 grams. Its olive-brown plumage glows with a yellow wash on the undertail, while its pale, almost creamy eyes gleam like beads of butter. Locals call it the dawn chorister for its habit of singing before sunrise, perched high among figs, its butter gaze reflecting the first light of day. Here's what makes it extraordinary: a voice as layered as the forest it inhabits. This canopy confessor delivers bubbling phrases and rolling trills, often joined by companions in spontaneous duets. During feeding, it dives headfirst into fruiting trees, scattering fig confetti that rains down on the forest floor. Such calls and movements synchronize flock cohesion, maintaining communication in dense foliage. Diet comprises 70% fruit, especially figs and berries, with insects supplementing during breeding season. It often feeds alongside other bulbuls and barbettes, an ecological partnership that disperses countless seeds through its droppings. Breeding occurs from February to August. Pairs weave delicate cup-shaped nests of rootlets and grass, usually hidden in low shrubs or small trees. 2 eggs are laid, incubated for about 13 days, and chicks fledge after 12 more, guided by both parents' soft, nasal calls. A final flutter among fig leaves, one creamy blink, and the chatter resumes in the green cathedral above. One last creamy wink, then the bulbul melts into the fruiting tree. Breakfast and gossip continue without us. Feathers like rain, eyes like dew. Silence holds its breath. Then color unfolds from shadow. The Whitehead's broadbill. Calyptomena Whitehead Daus, named for British explorer John Whitehead, who revealed Borneo's highland marbles in the 1880s. Its Latin genus means hidden moon, echoing the round glow of its luminous green body deep within the forest gloom. Distributed across montane forests of Sabah and Sarawak, this broadbill occupies elevations between 3,000 and 6,000 feet. It thrives in the cool mist of Borneo's jade cathedrals, where moisture drips from hanging moss and orchids bloom on twisting trunks. Endemic to the island, it often joins mixed flocks moving through bromeliad-laden branches. Measuring about 10 inches, 25 centimeters in length, and weighing around 2.5 ounces, 70 grams, the male gleams a saturated green with a glossy black crown, while the female shows softer tones. Its broad, heavy bill sword contrasts with its delicate, rounded form, a perfect blend of armor and art. When perched motionless, it seems carved from the forest itself. Unlike any other broadbill, its courtship centers on architecture. The pair weaves a large pendulous nest suspended beneath a branch, a bromeliad cradle swaying gently in the fog. Using fresh moss and root fibers, they line it so densely that light barely filters inside, creating a sanctuary warm enough for fragile chicks, even during downpours. Researchers believe this elaborate design evolved to deter parasites and shield from heavy rain. Feeding consists mainly of figs, small fruits, and forest insects. It plucks them mid-air or from dense foliage with a slow, deliberate motion, almost like a hovering leaf. As a seed disperser, it plays a quiet but vital role in forest renewal. A green glow swings gently beneath a dripping branch, life rehearsing its return beneath the clouds. No song, no flash of movement, only stillness, and light stitched into feathers. The Bornean peacock-pheasant, Polyplectron schleiermacheri, bears the name of German ornithologist Schleiermacher, who first described its ornate plumage in the late 19th century. Its genus, Polyplectron, means many spurs, a nod to the male's weaponry hidden beneath beauty. Endemic to the lowland and foothill rainforests of central and northern Borneo, it inhabits dark, humid understories between 300 and 3,300 feet. The species favors quiet forest floors draped in leaf litter, often near limestone ridges and bamboo thickets. Once widespread, it is now restricted to remote, unlogged tracts of pristine forest. Weighing approximately 2.2 pounds, and measuring up to 20 inches, the male displays a dark brown body patterned with brilliant metallic eye spots, each a miniature ocular nebula glowing turquoise and bronze. The female, smaller and earth-toned, lacks the male's ornate bronze galaxy, but blends seamlessly with the forest floor while nesting. Most remarkable is its dance, a spectacle that transforms the gloom into a courtship aurora. When displaying, the male raises its tail into a half fan, revealing a swirling array of luminous eye spots that shimmer under broken sunlight. It circles the female slowly, feathers trembling, producing a low rustle that pulses like distant rain. These forest discos last only seconds, yet they rank among the most mesmerizing avian rituals on Earth. Feeding consists mainly of ants, termites, small fruits, and seeds. It scratches the ground methodically with strong legs, flicking leaves aside in search of invertebrates. Occasionally, it joins mixed flocks of pheasants and babblers during early dawn foraging hours. Breeding occurs from March to June. Pairs nest in shallow ground scrapes lined with dry leaves, usually under dense shrubs. The female lays 2 eggs, incubating them for about 22 days, while the male guards nearby. Chicks fledge after 20-25 days, perfectly camouflaged in mottled brown plumage. The feathers fold, the shimmer dies down, and the stage dims. Borneo's starlight tucked beneath the soil once more. The eye-spotted train folds. The stage lights dim, but the memory of stardust remains. Fewer than 10,000 individuals remain, each one a flicker of living color in Borneo's fading forests. The blue-headed pitta, Hydrornis baudi, was named for French naturalist Jean Baud, and its genus, Hydrornis, means water bird, reflecting its love for damp, shaded habitats. It is one of Borneo's most prized endemic jewels, both elusive and radiant. Endemic to Borneo's lowland and hill dipterocarp forests, this pitta occurs from sea level up to about 3,600 feet, particularly in Sabah and Sarawak. It favors cool, mossy ground beneath towering trunks and avoids open areas, preferring thick vegetation near streams where humidity wraps everything in perpetual green. Measuring around 6.7 inches, 17 centimeters long, and weighing 1.8 ounces, 50 jars, it carries the unmistakable turquoise crown that contrasts vividly with its crimson belly and deep chestnut flanks. The wings shimmer in blue-black tones, giving it the regal bearing of an understory monarch. Females, subtler in color, trade the bold blue for warm ochre, a disguise against the forest floor. What sets it apart is its ritual of song and stance. When calling, it perches on a mossy log, bowing low over its moss altar, tail fanning slightly, emitting a resonant double hammer call that echoes like a duet between wood and air. This striking posture, half bow, half challenge, helps males declare territory while luring females. During displays, they tilt their heads as if acknowledging unseen royalty, perhaps the forest itself. Feeding consists primarily of beetles, termites, and earthworms. It probes the soil methodically, using its stout bill to unearth hidden prey. Its precise strikes and sudden hops make it a patient predator of the undergrowth. Breeding occurs from April to July. Pairs construct dome-shaped nests of roots and leaves, tucked among buttress roots or fallen branches. 2 eggs are laid, incubated for 17 days. Fledglings leave the nest after about 3 weeks. guided by the parents' soft trills through the shadows. A gentle bow, a shimmer of turquoise, and then the king slips behind the green curtain again. A regal bow, then the king steps behind the green curtain. Royalty needs no applause. The forest smells of rain, hums with cicadas, and shimmers with decay. Then, a spark of color leaps from the leaf litter, the blue-banded pitta, Erythropitta arquata. Its name combines the Greek erythros for red and pitta, meaning small ground bird, while arquata refers to the graceful curve of its bright chest band. This species inhabits the damp lowland and hill forests of Borneo, Sumatra, and the Malay Peninsula, but it is particularly vivid in Borneo's shadowed valleys between 300 and 3,600 feet. Preferring dense understory rich in fallen leaves and tangled roots, it stays close to the forest floor where light barely reaches. Small for a ground dweller, it measures about 6.5 inches, 16.5 centimeters, and weighs roughly 1.7 ounces, 48 g. The head and chest glow with crimson and orange, divided by a sapphire grenade, a sharp blue band that gleams like metal under stray sunbeams. Its dark wings and belly give the impression of a leaf-litter jewel, gliding silently between shadows. The most striking feature is its display. When calling, this earthbound comet bounces from log to log, tail flicking, releasing a piercing two-note whistle that cuts through the hush. Males respond to one another in echoing rounds, each performance a territorial warning and an invitation to any listening female. Studies show that every whistle is slightly varied, like a signature woven into the soundscape. Feeding consists primarily of earthworms, beetles, and ants. It hunts by sight, tilting its head to detect the faintest movement before striking. Occasionally, it flips dead leaves to expose prey, its curved bill acting like a tiny spade in miniature excavation. Breeding occurs from March to July. Pairs construct domed nests of moss and fibers at ground level, concealed among buttress roots. 2 or 3 eggs are laid, incubated for 17 days, with fledging after 3 weeks. Both parents share incubation duties, guarding fiercely against snakes and monitor lizards. A rustle, a flash of cobalt, then stillness returns, the treasure buried once more in soil and silence. A final hop, a flash of cobalt, and the forest floor swallows its treasure whole. It looks gentle, but it burns like a coal hidden under rain. The Whitehead's trogon, Harpactes whiteheadi, was named after the same British naturalist who uncovered much of Borneo's montane life in the 1880s. The genus Harpactes comes from Greek, meaning to seize, a reflection of its quick, snatching flight through shadow. Ranging from 3,300 to 6,500 feet, 1,000 to 2,000 fars, along the ridges of Mount Kinabalu, Trus-Madi, and the Crocker Range, this trogon prefers the cool, cloud-veiled forests where filtered light paints everything in muted tones. Endemic to northern Borneo, it favors the sub-canopy, where moss-coated branches hang heavy with moisture and silence. Males measure about 10.6 inches, 27 centimeters, and weigh near 2.7 ounces, 75 grn. Their plumage glows with crimson embers across the belly, fading into soft gray under a cloud veil of plumage. Females trade the fiery red for orange rust hues, blending perfectly with lichen-tinted bark. A long, square-tipped tail fans rhythmically like a tail fan metronome. Few birds can match the serenity of its movement. It perches motionless for minutes, then launches in a silent glide to snatch a passing insect. Its flight is a study in patience and precision, a calm choreography that betrays predatory intent beneath its sub-canopy phantom grace. Scientists believe this measured rhythm allows energy conservation at cool altitudes where prey is scarce. Feeding consists primarily of stick insects, beetles, and forest caterpillars. It targets prey from still perches, diving down in a short arc before returning to the same branch. Around 70% of its diet is insect protein, with occasional berries adding color to its meals. Breeding occurs from April to July. Pairs excavate nesting holes in decaying trunks about 10 to 20 feet high. The female lays 2 to 3 eggs, incubating them for roughly 18 days. Both parents feed the chicks, alternating deliveries of insects and berries until fledging after 24 days. Mist thickens. The red belly flicks once, and the forest swallows the ember whole. Its scarlet belly vanishes into mist. Only the memory of fire lingers in the cool air. It looks fragile in flight, but it commands the sky like a squadron. The long-tailed parakeet, Psittacula longicauda, takes its name from Latin. Longicauda means long tail, a tribute to the elegant streamers trailing behind its body. The genus Psittacula means little parrot, a nod to its compact yet resilient frame. Found across the lowland and coastal forests of Borneo, Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, and the Nicobar Islands, this parakeet thrives from mangrove edges to forest clearings up to 600 feet. In Borneo, it is common near fruiting palms, secondary woodlands, and village orchards where flocks of dozens flash through the humid air at dusk. Reaching up to 16 inches, 40 centimeters in length, half of which is tail, and weighing around 4.2 ounces, 120 g, it is slender and streamlined. The male bears a vivid green body, red shoulder patches, and a pink neck collar, while the female lacks the ring but keeps the same bright bands of color. In sunlight, the bird's elongated tail streaks across the canopy like an emerald comet, cutting through sky and foliage. What sets it apart is its disciplined coordination. These birds move in tight aerial flocks, wheeling in formation like dusk squadrons. Their synchronized flight patterns maintain flock cohesion. They also deter predators through constant, unpredictable motion, an aerial ballet written in sky calligraphy. Feeding consists mainly of fruits, seeds, and cultivated crops such as rambutan, figs, and oil palm. It clings acrobatically to branches, using its strong zygodactyl feet to rotate fruit while stripping husks with its curved bill. Wild figs form the bulk of its diet, making it a key seed disperser in tropical lowlands. Breeding occurs from February to May. Pairs nest in tree cavities 30 to 50 feet high, often reusing old woodpecker holes. The female lays 2 or 3 eggs, incubating for about 22 days. Both parents share feeding duties, raising chicks that fledge within 5 weeks. A gleaming arc of green sketches itself across the fading light, a signature only the sky can keep. A green streak writes a final flourish across the sunset. The page turns to night. Dawn breaks, and the forest floor catches fire. From the misted undergrowth emerges a flare of red plumage, glowing against the earth like a coal come to life. The crimson-headed partridge, Haematortix sanguiniceps, takes its name from Greek and Latin roots, haema for blood, ortix for quail, and sanguiniceps meaning blood-headed. It's a name as vivid as the bird itself, a hidden ember beneath Borneo's emerald canopy. Endemic to the mountains of Borneo, this partridge inhabits dense montane and submontane forests between 3,000 and 6,500 feet, especially in the Crocker Range, Mount Kinabalu, and central Kalimantan. It prefers shaded ridges and bamboo thickets, moving in small family groups that vanish almost instantly when disturbed. More rustle than shadow, more sound than sight. Roughly the size of a bantam chicken, it measures around 11 inches and weighs about 11 ounces. The male's head and upper neck blaze crimson red, contrasting sharply with a black breast and grayish-brown flanks. Females are duller, but still wear a muted version of that fiery crown. Its eyes, ringed in orange, gleam like embers beneath moss, while short, rounded wings make it a sprinter rather than a flyer. Few ground birds possess such defiance of color. In the dim forest, that red head serves not as camouflage, but as declaration. When alarmed, the male rises on his toes, giving a shrill whistle before melting back into cover. In quiet hours, pairs scratch through leaf litter for seeds, worms, and fallen fruit, forest gardeners scattering renewal with every step. Feeding consists mainly of seeds, insects, and fallen berries. It forages methodically among roots and ferns, tossing leaves aside with strong legs. At dawn and dusk, it emerges onto open trails, its red crown catching first and last light like a living sunrise. Breeding likely peaks from March to July. Nests are simple scrapes on the ground, lined with leaves and hidden under shrubs. The female lays 3 to 5 eggs, incubating them for about 20 days. Chicks hatch precocial, fully covered in down, and follow their parents within hours, blending perfectly with the forest floor. As evening rain mists the mountain path, the red crown flickers once, then disappears into the dark soil it calls home, a spark returning to its source. The crimson ember sinks beneath the ferns. The mountain keeps its flame alive in silence. From the edge of a forest clearing, a crimson flare streaks through the humid air, gone in a blink. The red-bearded bee-eater, Nyctiornis amictus, takes its name from Greek, nyx for night, and ornis for bird, a reference to its crepuscular habits. The species epithet amictus means cloaked, describing the fiery feathers that drape its throat like a scarf of flame. Found across the tropical rainforests of Borneo, Sumatra, and the Malay Peninsula, this species inhabits lowland and foothill forests up to 4,600 feet. In Borneo, it prefers the shaded forest edges and riverbanks where tall emergent trees open to patches of light, perfect terrain for high-speed hunting. Reaching about 13 inches and weighing around 2.8 ounces, it's one of Southeast Asia's largest bee-eaters. The plumage glows emerald green, while the face and chin ignite into a fiery red beard. Its long, slightly decurved bill and bright orange eyes give it the predatory elegance of an aerial javelin forged for precision. Few birds can match its ambush technique. Unlike most bee-eaters that hunt in open skies, this one waits motionless within the shadows, launching suddenly to snatch prey in flight. Its attack cuts through the air like a crimson dart streaking through sunlight. Prey is slammed against a branch to remove stingers before being swallowed whole. A rare example of tool-like behavior in avian predators. Feeding consists primarily of bees, wasps, dragonflies, and other flying insects. It often returns to the same perch to feed, tossing prey upward in mid-air before gulping it down. Breeding occurs from March to June. Hares excavate burrows up to 3 feet, 1 meter, deep in sandy riverbanks. The female lays 2 to 3 eggs. Both parents take turns incubating for about 22 days. Fledglings remain near the nest burrow for another month, practicing short flights under watchful eyes. Sunlight dims through the canopy as the red throat flickers once, then disappears into the amber glow of evening. The beard flashes once more, then the hunter becomes a spark in the golden hour. From the dim tangle of roots, a flash of chestnut and green explodes like lightning beneath the canopy. The Rufous-collared kingfisher, Actinoides concretus, takes its name from Greek. Actinoides meaning ray-like for its radiant plumage, and concretus from Latin for solid, describing its robust frame. One of Southeast Asia's most striking forest kingfishers, renowned for beauty and stealth. Found across Borneo, Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, and southern Thailand, this species thrives in dense lowland and hill rainforests up to 5,000 feet. In Borneo, it prefers shaded valleys and streamside ravines, where thick foliage muffles the sound of running water. Though widespread, it is becoming scarce due to logging and forest degradation. Measuring around 9 inches, 23 centimeters long, and weighing roughly 2.1 ounces, it wears a brilliant mix of deep blue upperparts and an orange rufous collar encircling the neck. The head and back shimmer with iridescent azure, while the white throat glows softly beneath the chestnut torque of its mantle. The sturdy bill, a vivid coral red, resembles a crimson hammer forged for cracking armored prey. Unlike any other forest kingfisher, it hunts underground. This species often forages within decaying root systems or fallen logs, diving into burrows to flush out prey. Its echoing calls bounce through these cavities, betraying its hidden movements in the root tunnel darkness. With a swift strike, it seizes frogs, lizards, or large insects before erupting from the subterranean flash into daylight. Feeding consists mainly of insects, small reptiles, and occasionally crabs. It perches silently above the forest floor, scanning for motion, then plunges with precision. This ambush technique minimizes energy loss while maximizing success in thick vegetation. Breeding occurs from March to July. Pairs dig tunnels into earthen banks or termite mounds, sometimes up to 2 feet deep. The female lays 2 eggs, incubated by both parents for about 20 days. Fledglings remain in the nest nearly 4 weeks before taking their first flight into filtered light. A rufous collar disappears down the burrow, a bolt of thunder stored in earth. A rufous collar disappears down the burrow, thunder stored in earth. A flash of turquoise arcs across the air, sharp, swift, and impossibly smooth. The blue-throated bee-eater, Merops viridis, takes its name from the Greek merops for bee-eater, and the Latin viridis, meaning green. It's a name that captures both its color and craft, a hunter dressed in the very hues of its prey's paradise. Found across Borneo, Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, and parts of the Philippines, this bee-eater inhabits lowland forests, coastal scrublands, mangroves, and open fields up to 3,300 feet. In Borneo, it's common near rivers and plantations where flying insects swarm over warm, open ground. Its presence often marks the edge where forest meets sunlight. Measuring around 9 inches, half of that an elegant tail streamer, and weighing about 1.5 ounces, the bird gleams in green and chestnut, crowned with a shimmering azure throat that catches the sun like liquid glass. Its narrow wings slice the air with surgical precision, the body slender as an aerial scythe built for velocity. Few birds can match its precision mid-flight. Hovering briefly, it launches upward, twisting into a graceful telephone wire ballet before seizing a wasp or dragonfly. Each strike is followed by a quick return to the perch, where it beats the insect against the branch to remove the stinger. Then, another ascent, another harvest from the invisible insect aurora drifting in the sky. Feeding consists mainly of bees, wasps, dragonflies, and butterflies. It hunts cooperatively, often in pairs or loose groups, each bird taking turns launching and returning to shared perches. Breeding occurs from March to July. Pairs excavate tunnels up to 3 feet, deep in sandy cliffs or riverbanks, using their bills as drills. The female lays 4 to 5 eggs, incubated for about 3 weeks. Fledglings remain near the burrow for another month, as parents continue to feed them with freshly caught insects. As the day wanes, the sky fills with thin green arcs, sweeping and folding like ribbons of living light. Wings scissor the air one last beat. The harvest is complete. The field is sky. The forest wakes in color. Amid blossoms dripping with dew, a flicker of red darts between petals like a spark given wings. This is the scarlet sunbird, Aethopega mysticalis, its name meaning bright-bearded, from the Greek etho, to shine, and pyge, rump, while mysticalis refers to its mustached face markings. In many parts of Asia, it's called the little hummingbird of the East. Found across Borneo, Sumatra, Java, the Malay Peninsula, and the Philippines, this dazzling sunbird occupies forest edges, gardens, and mangrove margins from sea level up to 6,000 feet. In Borneo, it is most common in flowering lowland forests, where sunlight and nectar converge, a perpetual dance between bird and bloom. Measuring about 5 inches and weighing a mere 0.2 ounces, this ruby needle of energy glows in crimson, green, and metallic gold. Males display a fiery red head and breast, a blue tail tipped with black, and a brilliant sunrise ember throat that catches light like molten glass. Females, olive green and smaller, wear subtler tones better suited to blending among leaves. Few birds are more tireless. With wings beating up to 20 times per second, it hovers beside blossoms, plunging its long, curved bill into corollas like a nectar assassin. Its brush-tipped tongue draws out sugar-rich nectar, while its face becomes dusted with pollen, making it one of Borneo's most important pollinators. Feeding consists mainly of nectar from hibiscus, heliconia, and banana flowers, but it also gleans spiders and insects to feed its young, especially during the breeding season. Breeding occurs from March to August. The female constructs a delicate hanging pouch of moss and spider silk, suspended from a branch tip 6 to 10 feet above ground. She lays 2 eggs, incubating them for about 15 days while the male defends the territory. Fledglings take their first flight after roughly 3 weeks. As dawn breaks, a red spark pierces the gold horizon, brief, bright, and alive with song. A final stab at dawn's first flower. The sunbird drinks the day before we do. A song drifts through the canopy, clear, metallic, and impossibly sweet. The Asian fairy-bluebird, Irena puella, bears a name as lyrical as its voice. Irena comes from the Greek Irene, meaning peace, while puella is Latin for maiden. Across many Asian cultures, this shimmering bird symbolizes grace and serenity, a living echo of the sky among leaves. Found across the dense rainforests of Borneo, Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, and the Indian subcontinent, it thrives from sea level up to 5,000 feet, 1,500 meters. In Borneo, it flits through both primary and secondary forests, often along fruiting ridges and forest clearings. Though widespread, its numbers decline where forest canopies vanish to agriculture. Measuring about 10 inches and weighing around 2.5 ounces, it glows with hues no painter could replicate. Males wear a cloak of cobalt silk, the body shimmering electric blue over black wings and tail, while females are draped in softer turquoise. When sunlight breaks through the canopy, the male flashes like a living gem against the shadows, the canopy diva of the tropical stage. Unlike any other songbird in its range, its duet calls, mournful yet resonant, carry far across valleys. The male often sings from exposed perches, his turquoise opera echoing through humid air. During courtship, he offers fruit to the female mid-flight, their wings brushing as they trade gifts in perfect rhythm. Feeding consists primarily of ripe berries, figs, and small forest fruits. It also supplements its diet with insects and nectar, playing a vital role in seed dispersal across fragmented forests. Breeding occurs from February to June. The female builds a neat cup-shaped nest of twigs and moss, tucked in the mid-canopy, about 20 feet high. She lays 2 eggs, incubating them for roughly 2 weeks, while the male supplies food. Both parents care for the chicks until fledging. As the song fades into stillness, a shimmer of blue passes through the trees, like twilight taking flight. One liquid note hangs in the air, then the blue curtain falls. No spider spins safe silk when this bird arrives. The Bornean spider hunter, Arachnothera everetti, takes its name from Greek, arachne meaning spider, and thera meaning hunter. The species honors British naturalist Alfred Hart Everett, who first collected it in the 19th century. Among Borneo's nectar-feeding specialists, this is the largest and boldest of its kind. Endemic to the island of Borneo, it inhabits lowland and montane rainforests from sea level to about 6,500 feet. It favors banana groves, flowering shrubs, and forest edges where nectar and insects are abundant. In these humid green realms, its curved bill is as common a sight as the blooms it patrols. Measuring roughly 7.5 inches and weighing around 1.4 ounces, this long-billed bird gleams olive green above and yellow below, with streaked breast markings. The thick, decurved bill, shaped like a proboscis rapier, allows it to probe deep into tubular flowers. Its call, a sharp tseet-tseet, cuts through the forest like a chirping arrow, guiding observers to its feeding grounds. Unlike any other spider hunter, it mixes two worlds, nectar and predation. While feeding, it deftly robs spider webs, plucking trapped insects before sipping from nearby blossoms. This dual diet gives rise to its reputation as the arachnid sommelier, tasting both prey and pollen in a single foray. Often, it hangs upside down beneath banana flowers, the acrobat of the banana blossom bar, drinking slowly as droplets glint along its bill. Feeding consists mainly of nectar from wild gingers, bananas, and heliconias, along with small spiders and insects. By visiting countless flowers daily, it becomes a vital pollinator for many rainforest plants. Breeding occurs from March to July. Pairs weave small cup nests from moss and fine fibers, attaching them to broad leaves about 6 to 10 feet above ground. 2 eggs are laid and incubated for around 15 days, with both parents sharing care. The last droplet trembles at the curve of its bill before falling into light, a moment of still perfection. The last droplet clings to the curved beak. The spider hunter savors eternity in a single sip. The forest is never quiet when this bird is near. Its voice, half rattle, half laugh, bounces through the canopy like metallic mischief. The Bornean tree-pea, Dendrocyta cinerascens, takes its name from Greek, dendron meaning tree and kita for jay, while cinerascens refers to its ash-gray plumage. It is one of Borneo's endemic songsters, a bird that turns chatter into music. Endemic to the island of Borneo, this species inhabits hill and montane forests between 3,000 and 8,000 feet, most often seen in Sabah and Sarawak. It prefers forest edges, ridges, and clearings where tall trees overlook valleys, a vantage point from which it can both feed and broadcast its calls. Reaching about 13 inches and weighing around 3 ounces, it wears a soft cloak of gray-brown with a black mask and long silvery tail. The wings flash white when it takes flight, the whole bird like an ash-gray jester vaulting through green corridors, its eyes gleam bronze under the light, the look of a sharp-tongued storyteller always ready with the next rumor. What sets it apart is its voice, a mechanical medley of whistles, clicks, and chuckles. The bird perches high, tail flicking like a rattle-tail herald, mimicking other forest sounds. Hornbill croaks, frog calls, even camera shutters. In pairs or small flocks, their chatter becomes a living symphony of chaos and rhythm. These sub-canopy storytellers keep the jungle's conversation alive. Feeding consists mainly of insects, fruit, and small invertebrates. It hops deftly along branches, plucking caterpillars or raiding ripe figs. Occasionally, it joins mixed species flocks, serving as both lookout and alarm system with its sharp cries. Breeding occurs from February to June. Pairs construct deep cup nests of roots and twigs, lined with fine fibers, usually 15 to 30 feet high in dense foliage. The female lays 3 eggs, incubating for about 17 days while the male supplies food. Fledglings leave the nest roughly 3 weeks later, learning the family's signature calls. A sharp trill, a flash of wing. The gray storyteller files another rumor into the canopy's endless archive. Tomorrow, it will open the ledger again. Java, this dove inhabits lowland and swamp forests up to 3,300 feet. In Borneo, it flutters through fruiting trees along riverbanks and forest edges, often feeding beside bulbuls and barbets. Though widespread, its numbers are declining due to habitat loss and hunting. Measuring around 9 inches and weighing roughly 3.5 ounces, this bird is a painter's dream. Emerald green above, white below, and crowned with a vivid rose-pink face. The male's breast glows like a rose breast jewel, while the female is paler, her colors soft and cool. When perched among fruiting figs, both can disappear completely, the jambu blush melting into leaves and fruit alike. Few birds show such grace in flight. Its wings beat softly, and its landing is nearly soundless, a flutter of silk more than feather. The dove feeds on figs, berries, and rose apples, swallowing fruit whole and dispersing seeds across the forest floor. By doing so, it becomes a quiet gardener of the tropics, planting the next generation with every meal. Breeding occurs mainly from February to June. Pairs build fragile platform nests of twigs and leaves, hidden within dense foliage about 10 to 20 feet above ground. The female lays a single white egg, which both parents incubate for roughly 2 weeks. The chick fledges within 12 to 14 days, leaving the nest in its first soft coat of green. As the last sunlight filters through the canopy, a soft pink shimmer lingers where the fruit once hung. A blush of pink melts into the fruiting branch. The dove becomes the fruit it loves. Some birds dazzle with color. This one commands with contrast. The black oriole, Oriolus hosai, takes its name from the Latin aureolus, meaning golden. An ironic tribute to a bird dressed almost entirely in black. Its species name honors Charles Hose, the British naturalist who first described it in 1903 after encountering it in Borneo's mist-laden mountains. Endemic to northern Borneo, this oriole inhabits the cool montane forests of Sarawak and Sabah, between 3,000 and 6,500 feet. It thrives in mossy, oak-laurel forests, where ferns cling to trunks and clouds drift through treetops. Rare and localized, it's often heard before seen, a spectral voice echoing through the fog. Reaching about 10 inches and weighing roughly 2.6 ounces, it wears a velvety coat of black with subtle steel blue gloss. A faint yellow patch glows on the rump, a quiet reminder of its golden ancestry. When sunlight breaks through the canopy, the bird becomes an obsidian flute, its feathers absorbing rather than reflecting light. The throat shimmers faintly like liquid gold, a single glint in the mountain gloom. What sets it apart is its voice, a pure, resonant whistle that cuts through the forest's still air. Delivered in slow, deliberate phrases, its song has been compared to a midnight tenor performing in solitude. Unlike the bright chatter of lowland orioles, this one sings with melancholy grace, a solitary musician of the clouds. Feeding consists mainly of figs, berries, and caterpillars. It moves methodically among branches, probing moss-covered bark and occasionally snatching flying insects mid-air. Breeding likely occurs between April and July. Hares weave deep, pendant nests from fine roots and moss, suspending them from thin branches 20-30 feet high. The female lays 2 eggs, incubated for about 2 weeks, while both parents feed the young. A voice that isn't its own calls from the trees. Then another. Then 10 more. The forest falls silent, fooled again by the mimic. The greater racket-tailed drongo, Dicrurus paradiseus, takes its name from the Latin dicrurus, meaning fork-tailed, and paradiseus, of paradise. It's a name well-earned for a bird that rules the soundscape like a clever illusionist. Found across Borneo, Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, and southern Thailand, this drongo thrives in primary and secondary forests up to 4,900 feet. In Borneo, it's a familiar sight from coastal mangroves to mountain slopes, perching high on exposed branches. Agile and fearless, it often follows troops of macaques or hornbills, seizing fleeing insects stirred by their movement. Measuring about 12 inches and weighing around 3.5 ounces, this glossy black bird gleams with metallic blue highlights. Its most distinctive feature is the elongated outer tail feathers ending in twisted spatulas, the tail tennis rackets that flash and spin mid-air. When the drongo dives through light, these ornaments flick like wires of polished obsidian. Few birds can match its mastery of deception. The mimic maestro imitates over 20 species, laughing thrushes, hornbills, even squirrels, to distract rivals or warn of predators, only to snatch their food mid-chaos. Researchers call this kleptoparasitic mimicry, but in simpler terms, it's the forest's trickster performing to eat. The bird's mimicry is so precise that even humans mistake its calls for other species during field surveys. Feeding consists mainly of flying insects, especially beetles, bees, and dragonflies. It hunts by aerial pursuit, darting out from perches and returning in short bursts. Occasionally, it joins mixed flocks, acting as an alarm sentinel. Breeding occurs from February to June. Hares construct deep cup nests from bark strips and roots, suspended between forked branches about 20-30 feet high. The female lays 3 eggs, incubated for roughly 18 days. Both parents defend the nest fiercely, mobbing hawks and crows many times their size. A black silhouette twists through shafts of light, the tail racket spinning like sound made visible. The rackets twirl, mimic a mina, then vanish. The forest's ventriloquist signs off. Water moves, and so does it. A flick of russet, a flash of white, and the current itself seems alive. The chestnut-naped forktail, Enichurus ruficapillus, derives its name from Greek enikos, distinct, and ura, tail, while ruficapillus means red-capped, for the rich chestnut crown that glows against dark feathers. It is one of Southeast Asia's most elegant streamside specialists. Found across Borneo, Sumatra, and the Malay Peninsula, this species inhabits clear, fast-flowing rivers and forest creeks up to 4,900 feet. In Borneo, it is a familiar sight in mossy gullies and shaded waterfalls, darting from stone to stone in constant motion. Its presence often signals pristine water, a living indicator of the forest's health. Measuring around 9 inches and weighing about 1.8 ounces, this small thrush-like bird shows striking contrasts. Black upper parts, bright white underparts, and a long forked tail banded in white. Its chestnut crown shines like a rust-crowned sprite, and the tail flickers rhythmically, a metronome to the river's music. Its movements are quick, precise, and continuous, never still for more than a heartbeat. Few birds display such intimacy with water. The waterfall waltz of the forktail is a dance of survival. It darts after aquatic insects, landing on slippery rocks that would defeat any clumsier step. When startled, it skims low over the stream, the spray tiara of droplets catching sunlight around it like a crown in motion. Its tail, constantly bobbing, signals both alertness and territorial claim. Feeding consists mainly of insects, larvae, and small crustaceans gleaned from wet stones and stream banks. It often forages alone or in pairs, walking against the current, snatching prey from between pebbles with sharp precision. Breeding occurs from February to July. Pairs construct cup-shaped nests of moss, leaves, and roots, wedged into crevices or behind waterfalls. The female lays 2 or 3 eggs, incubated for about 18 days. Both parents feed the chicks, whose fledging coincides with the dry season when insects are most abundant. At dusk, the river glows silver, and a chestnut crown bows once more before slipping into the mirrored current. The chestnut crown bows to the cascade. Water and bird become one moving sculpture. A flicker of lime moves through the treetops, almost too quick for the eye. The green Iora, Aegathena viridissima, carries a name drawn from Greek, Aegathinos meaning little songbird, and viridissima meaning brightest green. True to its name, this tiny passerine is a spark of life among the leaves, a creature that seems half breeze, half bird. Found across the lowland rainforests of Borneo, Sumatra, and the Malay Peninsula, this Iora thrives in canopies from sea level up to 3,300 feet. In Borneo, it flits through fruiting trees and secondary growth forests, preferring sunlit crowns where insects shimmer in the heat. Though not endemic, it remains one of the island's most charming and overlooked canopy residents. Measuring about 5 inches, 13 centimeters, and weighing roughly 0.3 ounces, 9 g, it is a leaf sprite brought to life. The male gleams in lime whistle tones, bright yellow-green with a black mask and glossy wings, while the female wears gentler hues of olive. Together, they vanish into foliage, invisible until the male bursts into song, a high, flute-like cascade that seems to come from the leaves themselves. Few birds embody movement like the iora. Its restless energy fills the upper canopy. It flutters, hovers, and rolls in mid-air, chasing insects with acrobatic precision. During courtship, the male puffs out his feathers and spreads his tail, transforming into a ball of vibrating color, a breeze ventriloquist performing a dance of sound and shimmer. Feeding consists mainly of caterpillars, small beetles, and other soft-bodied insects. It forages in pairs or small flocks, often joining mixed species groups, darting from branch to branch in search of hidden prey. Breeding occurs between February and May. Hares weave compact cup nests from plant fibers and spider silk, suspended from slender twigs high in the canopy. 2 eggs are laid and incubated for about 13 days. Fledglings take wing within 2 weeks, following their parents through the green maze above. From the highest leaves comes a song so light it could be mistaken for wind. A green note floats out, then the leaf itself seems to sing. Silence breaks, not with a song, but with a rasping chorus like rusty hinges turning in the dark. The Bornean bristlehead, Pityriasis gymnocephala, is a creature that defies classification. Its name comes from Greek, pityron meaning bran or scurf, and gymnocephalos meaning bald-headed. The result is as strange as it sounds, a bird crowned in crimson bristles, neither songbird, crow, nor hornbill, but something entirely its own. Found only in Borneo, this enigmatic species inhabits lowland and hill rainforests up to 4,600 feet. It prefers the high canopy of undisturbed forests, particularly in Sabah's Danum Valley and Sarawak's Mulu National Park. Endemic and elusive, it moves in small, noisy groups that seem to vanish as suddenly as they appear. Measuring around 10 inches and weighing about 3.5 ounces, it is unmistakable, a stout black bird with a vivid crimson head and a short tail. The crown is covered with stiff, hair-like feathers, its bristle battalion, while the throat glows orange and the bill gleams pale ivory. The combination gives it the look of a bald crimson general, surveying its canopy domain with quiet authority. Most remarkable is its social structure. Groups of up to a dozen individuals travel together, communicating through harsh croaks and screeches. They move methodically through the treetops, each bird taking a position like soldiers on patrol. These flocks often lead mixed species groups, their sharp calls acting as cues for other birds to follow. An unlikely commander in Borneo's aerial army. Feeding consists mainly of large insects, caterpillars, and small fruits. It probes under bark and among leaves, occasionally hanging upside down to extract prey. This behavior helps control insect populations in the forest canopy. Breeding occurs from March to June. Nests are placed high, 40 to 60 feet above ground, built from fine twigs and lined with soft fibers. The female lays 2 eggs, incubated for about 2 weeks, while both parents feed the chicks. A final rattle echoes across the canopy as the red head lifts, commanding silence once more. From the mist-laden peaks of Kinabalu to the tangled rainforests of the lowlands, Borneo's birds remind us that this island is not merely a place. It's a pulse. Each flutter, each call, each flash of color tells a story written in green and gold. Here, life does not just exist. It performs. Every note, every feather, every moment is part of something older and grander than us. Borneo remains one of Earth's last true sanctuaries, a reminder that the wild still has a voice, if we choose to listen. Thank you for joining BBTV Official on this journey through Borneo's avian realm. If these stories stirred your wonder, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which Bornean bird captured your imagination most. Until we meet again, may the songs of Borneo's forests follow you softly, like the echo of wings fading into the mist.